Now we are having very, very low testing. And if we are going to have increased number of testing, that's the only time we're going to be able to understand just how widespread this thing is. Because this thing is kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we don't test enough number of people, we are going to have low numbers. And I think to an extent, there is an incentive for the government not to test as much as possible, apart from the fact that we don't even have enough testing kits right now. But the problem is that if you don't test so many people, people are going to think we have a lead over the issue. So it's not as serious as people might be thinking. So with that, we can actually cheat and act like we're able to control the thing more than most of these developed countries. Because if you don't understand, one of the reasons why the United States has the highest number of COVID-19 confirmed cases right now in the world is because they have done more testing more than any other nation in the world. Apart from the fact that they have a very large population, they have done more testing, like far more than any other country in the world. They do hundreds of thousands of testing every week. So that's just the issue. So if we are going to understand just how widespread this thing is, and for us to be able to deal with it, we need to increase the number of testings we are doing. So that's one of the things. And I'm going to cut them some slacks right now, that one of the reasons why the testing may be very problematic is because of the stigma attached to this thing. We have heard reports of people all around the world, all around Nigeria, where let's say somebody got infected and then, tested positive, and the person is coming back. The people in the community are going to reject the person. Okay, we don't want you to come back here, please. We don't want you to come back here. So it's very, very serious, because if the person is like, okay, what if I go and get tested and I test positive? I may never be able to come back to my community. They may never allow me to come back here. In the streets, in your area, it becomes a problem. So there is already an incentive for people not to get tested. So that's the issue there. So is this sort of social issues that we have, people stigmatizing people that have been tested positive and are now testing negative because they have been treated. So people that have been treated still don't have access to their communities because they have been stigmatized. So that's the problem. So if you are a new person, you're having symptoms, and I feel like, okay, should I really go and do this? And at the end of the day, I'm going to be rejected by the community. Why don't I just write it out? I may not really have severe symptoms. And then you stay around, and then you infect a whole lot more people. So that's the issue. And then we don't actually have the number of people who are infected, even with our limited means of testing. We're not going to have enough number of people tested for us to have a capture of what is actually going on in the country. So that's the situation. And also, one other problem that we have is that some of these conspiracy theories have been going around saying that if you have COVID-19, just stay at home and just eat local stuff. You don't need to go to the hospital. It's about 5G, that the government has already received bribe on 5G and all of that. And then if you go to the hospital, you are only going to get injected with deadly injections and stuff like that you might be killed in the hospital. So you're going to have a lot of people like, okay, why should I take the risk of going to the hospital where I might end up getting killed? That they will tell you that why is it that all those people that get killed or that die from the COVID-19 are usually people that have gone to the hospital? It's because those are the only people that are being tested. So a lot of people might be dying outside from COVID-19 right now, but because they were not tested, there's no way you're going to know whether they died from COVID-19 or not. They were not tested at all. So the reason why people that are dying are people that have been admitted before is because those ones are already tested. So it's easy for you to classify them, okay, this is a COVID-19 death. So that's the problem. So the person is going to feel like, oh yeah, I don't think I need to go to the hospital. I don't want to get killed and get counted among those people that died as a result of COVID-19. So that has also affected the number of people getting tested, the number of people going out to the hospitals to get tested.